morning time, that time when God wakes up the world, a time for the sun comes up and slowly pushes away the night. For some, morning time is a time to go to bed, especially for those who have pushed through the night working in factories, moving goods and services across the country, or the first responders who work tirelessly to keep us safe. For most of us, it's a time to get ready for the day and head into work. However, for me, it's a time to take in the sights and sounds of life. Just imagine having your morning coffee, surrounded by the chirping birds, a slight breeze hit your face, a few cars pass, and then you hear it. You're skiing your keys up, and it's a train calling the signal before your location. It starts off as a slight rumble. As the train approaches, the sound gets louder. Now what started out as a low rumble is now tons of metal rolling past you, with you being drenched in the sound of multiple 16-cylinder diesel engines. As the ground shakes, the locomotive pulls the thousands of tons of freight past you. As the train rolls past, following the locomotives, the squealing of flanges and the clickety-clack of the cars as they hit the joints in the rail. Pretty soon, it all fades back into the distance, and you are left with the sounds of the morning. Now come join me as I spend the morning watching trains and enjoying the outdoors before I go into work. Today, we are going to see two railroads as they go about their work. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of how to spend my mornings. A lot of times I do this before I go to work. A lot of times I spend this time really kind of getting away from it all, kind of before the craziness at work. And sometimes on the weekends I actually just up and decided, like this morning, get up and go watch trains. You can hear the trains in the background. One of the local short lines here actually working, and it just gives me a chance to really focus on the channel here. It gives me a chance to focus on things and get away from the hectic of life. This is where I come down here every morning and pray. I read my Bible. I just bask in the fact that God's goodness and opening up the opportunities to watch the sunrise, really enjoy the outdoors, hear the birds chirping. And of course, I used to do this a lot of times before I even became a Jeep owner, became an overlander. There's many times I spent times trackside, and to tell you the truth, I got away from it. A couple years went by, maybe 5 or 6 years, I just haven't done it. Opportunity allowed me to spend some of my mornings here trackside and get back to the basics, and I just wanted to invite you today to come along with me from the time I get up to the time I leave to go to work, and really let you enjoy seeing some of the trains and some of the things that go on here in the morning. And of course, let's get started. Okay, good morning, everybody. Kind of sitting here trackside, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of a tour here, what to expect and where we're at. We're at the ABC Railways yard lead. That's the one that you can see behind me here. It's just a little short line that's been around since my childhood. It used to be known as the Akron Barberton Belt Line, and back in the mid-90s it was, how do I say it? It was really up in the air about the future of this railroad. There's a lot of things going on with the railroad, that with the industries that were leaving out of Akron, times were changing, and of course it wasn't known that it was going to survive. It was bought out by the Wheeling Lake Erie Railway about the mid to late 90s, and it was turned into a little thriving short line. It actually survived. It actually still operates as the ABC Railway today.
Behind that, obscured by these weeds here, is the CSX Newcastle subdivision. It runs from Newcastle, PA to Willard, Ohio. It's used to see about maybe 30 or 40 trains a day. Now, about 10 or 15 trains a day, and a lot of them are at night. So, early morning like this gives you the best opportunity to catch what the left of the main traffic. So, of course, there's a lot of cool things going on, and speaking of which, I'm hearing on the radio and seeing up off in the distance there behind that tie pile the Akron Barn and Cluster Railway. So let's just watch as their yard job gets ready to go. So I kind of hope you enjoyed this video here. Just wanted to give you a little bit of insight inside my morning here with the trains and the Jeep, and kind of show you where the channel is actually going. One of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be visiting a lot of places such as Alliance, Ohio, some of the other places I'd actually like to frequent and watch trains. It's going to be kind of awesome. We're going to be testing some gear out. We're going to test the overland gear out as we're rail fanning, so maybe some of the stuff that we use out on a trail we're going to be using watching trackside. So stay tuned for that. Just wanted to invite you, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and as always, stay healthy and stay blessed.